boxing truth here. There's definitely something brewing between Gervonta Davis and Floyd Mayweather. It's been going on for quite some time, actually. For over the past year, prior to Gervonta Davis's first world title shot. During that course of time, Mayweather was trying to get him a step-up fight. They talk about matching him with Jason Sosa at first, who was a regular champion at that time for the WBA. And at that time, I thought it was too big of a leap in competition, because Mayweather's, the way he developed Gervonta hasn't been the best when it comes to getting him ready to a world title shot. I mean, it's pretty much the exact opposite. I mean, Davis, prior to the world title shot against Pedraza, which was over a year ago, Mayweather and his team, they matched him in, like, I would say 18 consecutive bum fights, fighting guys with 18 losses on their records, no winning streaks, no solid veterans, no gatekeepers. He fought a bunch of nobodies and washed guys, older guys, bunch of no-name guys. So he didn't really get the best development process. I mean, nowhere near to what Mayweather got when he was with Top Rank. So now Mayweather is he's been rushing the kid, not giving him a good solid foundation and when it comes to his development fights, not putting him in there with, you know, solid opponents prior to world title shot. So what Gervonta is saying that he was set up to lose, he definitely has some substance to it. Luckily for him, he's got talent. He's a pretty damn good fighter. I'm high on Gervonta Davis. I think he's got pound for pound level talent. I think he's very explosive, great athlete. There's always room for improvement, but he's got potential to really be, you know, a legitimate world beater at 130, 35 pounds. But he's with a bad team right now. That's either they believe in him too much or they're trying to set him up for failure. I'm kind of leaning towards the latter, because Pedraza, he didn't have to fight Gervonta Davis. It was an optional defense. Pretty much Pedraza cherry-picked him. Mayweather used his influence, had the connections. Pedraza was advised by Al Heyman at the time, and he pushed for Gervonta to get his shot against Pedraza, even though Davis was only ranked number 9 by the IBF prior to this fight. So he was nowhere near title contention, because he didn't deserve to be near title contention. I mean, he was fighting a bunch of nobodies. Not even a regional title fight he had. Not one. Didn't even fight for like a WBC silver or you know, intercontinental title. He didn't fight not one world-rated opponent. So Davis definitely has an argument that he's being set up by Floyd Mayweather to perhaps lose. And the more you think about it, he could be right. I mean, why should Floyd Mayweather even give a shit? He's got another 9-figure payday coming his way if he actually goes through with that MMA endeavor. I mean, what's he give a shit about Gervonta Davis for? I mean, Davis is a quality fighter, talented, has potential to be a star, but he's a long way away from even reaching Anthony Joshua, Canelo Alvarez level, which is 15 to 20 million a fight. So doesn't seem like Mayweather has much care for Gervonta Davis. Doesn't give a shit if he succeeds or fails. Is trying to set him up for failure by now changing his tune by pushing for a Vasyl Lomachenko fight. It's kind of reminiscent to what Arum was doing to Floyd, but at least Arum gave him a good solid foundation, good learning fights, good development fights. But Mayweather always felt Arum was pushing him too hard, matching him tough at lightweight against Castillo, trying to match him with Margarito, to the point where Floyd just got fed up and he bought himself out of that contract, so he didn't have to take the tough-ass fights that Arum was trying to line him up with. Mayweather turned down a shitload of fights when he was with Top Rank. Turned down the Paul Spadafora fight as well. So Davis, if I'm a part of his team, if there's a clause in the contract to buy himself out of Mayweather Promotions, he should definitely do it. Go on his own, look for other offers out there to, you know, sign with a promoter that knows what they're doing, that actually gives a shit about, about building him up, making him become a bigger star. Because Floyd's ego is too damn big to even care. He only gives a shit about himself. Not really interested in trying to build up a fighter right now because he's too focused on not going out in the limelight now that he's 41 years old. So he needs a promoter that's actually really focused on the game, that's going to build him up, that's going to put him in the right fights at the right time. Because the Lomachenko fight is just a little too soon for the kid. I mean, he's fighting Jesus Cuellar in his next fight, a featherweight, coming off a loss, hadn't fought in over a year for a bullshit regular title, I believe. That should be an easy fight for Davis. He's too fast, too strong for Cuellar, too active. Even though Davis hasn't fought since last August. But it's been a weird relationship he's had with Floyd. I mean, Floyd, he pushed him a little too hard after that the bullshit development process he had fighting Pedraza with the limited amount of world-class experience. I picked him to beat Pedraza, though. I recognize his talent, though he was too explosive for Pedraza. But Pedraza thought it was going to be an easy fight. He looked at this kid's record, and he fought like he was going to sun the kid. He fought with absolutely no respect in that fight, and it paid him. He paid the price for it. But then you see in his very next fight, you see how Floyd treats him, though. I mean, Floyd never traveled for any of his fights, not even for mandatory defenses. So instead of being a real promoter, looking out for his fighter, he makes Gervonta Davis travel to the UK to fight Liam Walsh for his mandatory defense. He couldn't freaking get Liam Walsh to come to the States, put a show on his own, have a homecoming defense of some sort. Instead, he freaking ships him to the UK, puts him at risk, even though he was way better than Liam Walsh. But still, it's still a risky fight to take, to travel overseas and fight a mandatory contender who's hungry, who's a young challenger, and really wants to win the fight very badly. So that was somewhat of a dangerous fight as well. But Davis destroyed him because the kid is good. He's got some talent. But then he fucks up in his next fight, doesn't make weight, loses his title, fights a complete nobody in Francesca, knocks him out in a controversial fashion, and his career has stagnated ever since. Hasn't been in the ring in about 8 months by the time he fights Cuellar. And I think Davis should try his best to get out of Mayweather Promotions and sign with somebody else, someone that's gonna, treat him a little better. I mean, the guy has potential to be an A-side, and yet freaking Floyd is shipping him overseas, rushing him towards a title shot, and now trying to match him with Lomachenko with not much momentum going into the fight. So we'll see what happens between this relationship, which has been rocky from the start, ever since Davis was trying to contend for a title, even though he was nowhere near title contention at the time he was being pushed for a title shot. But I like Davis's talent. I'm high on Gervonta Davis. I think he's a very good fighter, possibly the best at 130. But he's got a bad team around him right now, and it has a huge impact on your career. You gotta have talent, you gotta have the hunger, desire, and you also have to have the right team behind you. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like Demetrius Andrade. No momentum, can't get fights. You gotta have a good team, and that's what Mayweather had throughout his whole career. He had a good team, and when he got pushed too hard, he bounced, bought himself out of top rank. Gervonta Davis should do the same. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.